Will Shedeur Sanders prove Mel Kiper right? Let's get into this thing right now. What up? What up? What up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you. Welcome back to the channel, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as soon as you come into the building. Guys, I had to jump on here because I just been enjoying the Shedeur Sanders impact on the NFL as a fifth round draft pick, though. I'm down here in Tampa Bay, so on another note, shout out to Shedeur Sanders, man. I think he's making a big impact for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down here. But guys, watching this Shedeur Sanders thing, I noticed a story that gave me intrigue. You got some analysts, saying that Shedeur is outplaying Dylan Gabriel. You got others saying Gabriel is outplaying Shedeur Sanders. You're watching footage that's favorable to Shedeur for some creators and some news stations, and you're watching some footage that's favorable to Gabriel, depending on who it is. But the one thing that's crazy, guys, is that Mel Kiper Jr. is still standing 10 toes on Shedeur Sanders. And my question is, does Shedeur have the ability to prove this man right? Guys, I've been watching the draft for a long time. Been watching Mel Kiper for a long time. People like the Todd McShays of the world and that kind of thing wouldn't even exist. We remember watching Mel Kiper when the draft was really not a big deal. Mel Kiper, the guy who created all of the drama, all of the reason you wanted to watch the draft, is standing 10 toes on Shedeur Sanders. Now, guys, I got to tell you, y'all can go through my playlist and see. I always thought Shedeur should be the top player off the board. I watched Shedeur when they were at Jackson State, been following Well Off Media for a long time. I've always been a fan of Shedeur. Now, I'm not afraid to say when I think he did something wrong or when I think he could have done better and that kind of thing. But guys, this is crazy that this far after the draft, we still talking about Shedeur Sanders and this Mel Kiper connection where he would not shut up until they drafted Shedeur Sanders. Now, I'm going to say this to you guys, too. I think the whole racism and collusion stuff, in part, is because even Mel Kiper thought something was going down that you just couldn't explain. And had Mel Kiper taken the instruction, because people were telling him, shut up about Shedeur Sanders, shut up about Shedeur Sanders. I was following it on X, man, on Twitter, the whole draft night. And you could just tell it's Mel Kiper this about Shedeur, it's Mel Kiper glazing Shedeur, all this kind of stuff. Well, realistically, guys, Mel Kiper been doing this a long time. And very rarely, based on how long he's been doing it, has he been wrong. And guys, it came up yesterday. I saw Deion getting involved, telling basically Mel Kiper, thank you. So what I want to do, guys, let's get into this article real fast. And then we'll answer my question after this. But I'm over here at Yahoo Sports. Deion Sanders sends strong message to Mel Kiper Jr. after Shedeur Sanders' fall. They've been discussing this on other channels too, but few NFL draft analysts were more surprised at the fall of Colorado star quarterback Shedeur Sanders than Mel Kiper Jr. Even fewer were more vocal than Kiper at calling out NFL teams for passing on the superstar quarterback and son of the legendary player Deion Sanders. Kiper, who had Sanders as the number one quarterback prospect, believed he should have been the first quarterback off the board instead of Cam Ward, who went to the Tennessee Titans with the number one pick. If y'all go back through my Deion Sanders playlist, y'all could see I had a thumbnail called 2 versus 1, the number 2 versus the number 1, and it was Shedeur versus Cam, and I said Shedeur should have been first because he's built for the lights of this and that kind of thing. It doesn't mean Cam Ward ain't good. It just means Shedeur understood the lifestyle of the NFL. A few weeks after the draft, Miami coach Mario Cristobal said he spoke to 1 million people about Ward, but Kiper wasn't one of them. Never heard from him, Cristobal said. I don't think I've ever talked to him, he added, before going on to discuss if Ward was disappointed that Kiper stepped on his draft night by talking about Shedeur Sanders after he was drafted by the Titans. The only reason I would be disappointed was if Cam was. But knowing Cam, he just wanted to hear the name and exactly where he was going and get to work. It didn't take long for McMurphy's conversation with Cristobal to hit social media and eventually catch the attention of Kiper, who responded with a clear statement of his own. Now, I want y'all to see this. I'll go back up to this. The only reason I would be disappointed was if Cam was. But knowing Cam, he just wanted to hear the name and exactly where he was going and get to work. Once again, guys, a shot at Shedeur Sanders. right? Just basic guy, no excitement, no anything, and trying to make it seem like Shedeur is not like that. That's what I thought was interesting. Another thing I thought was interesting, how do you not know if Cam was disappointed and you was his coach? You mean to tell me Cam Ward has not called Mario Cristobal to talk about the draft by that time? Right? At the end of the day, you should know this stuff. If you're the coach that got him to be the number one pick, you're the coach that put his name out there at that level, because staying at Washington State wouldn't happen. He's at the U, and you don't know. So again, guys, it didn't take long for the conversation with Cristobal to hit social media. Mario Cristobal claims he spoke to a million people about Cam Ward. Yet one he didn't speak to, being me, had Ward ranked higher than any other draft expert. Interesting, isn't it? And oh, and by the way, I didn't speak to Deion about Shedeur either. I need another orange crush after this nonsense, Mike Kiper said in response on social media. Y'all see what he said? Sixth on his big board with Cam Ward. He wasn't hating on Cam Ward by saying Shedeur was better. And guys, I'm telling y'all, Shedeur, I believe, was the better quarterback. I'm not mad at Cam going number one because I didn't want to see Shedeur in Tennessee. I thought Shedeur was going to the New York Giants. I would have preferred to see him go to the Giants just from the media market standpoint and the attention he would get. Kiper's message caught the attention of Deion Sanders, who offered love and support for the ESPN analyst after his defense of the quarterback's son was falling in the draft. But I love you, man. You stood on the desk with great balance, 10 toes down. Said what you doggone said and didn't flinch. You knew what time it was, my man, and we're blessed to be right where God wanted us to be with the opportunity. They forgot I was in the entertainment TV business for 20 years. Okay. And I'll be 20 years before coach. The Cleveland Browns eventually traded up in the fifth round to select Shedeur Sanders. Now, guys, why am I why am I doing this, guys? Because I think what's happening right now, y'all notice what Deion said. The reason I'm doing this video is what Deion said. God bless us where we are right now with opportunity. Why didn't he say with the Browns? And do I think Shedeur Sanders can prove Mel Kiper correct? Can prove Mel Kiper right? Yeah, once he gets out of the Browns. If Shedeur Sanders does not get away from the Browns, guys, let's stop fooling ourselves. It's not happening. The Browns don't know what to do with Shedeur Sanders. And let me tell y'all this. I don't care if some people said Gabriel outperformed Shedeur. I don't care if some people said Shedeur outperformed Gabriel. Here's what I know. They don't know what to do with it, right? Because it shouldn't even be a question between a third round pick and a fifth round pick. But here's how I know Shedeur is outperforming Dylan Gabriel. Here's how I know they're worried about Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco not getting opportunity. Shedeur, here's what happens. We're talking about whether he beat out Gabriel or whether Gabriel beat out him. But we're not talking about whether he should actually be there. Y'all notice that when you're a fifth round pick, we questioning should you be there. We're questioning should you even make the team. Why is Shedeur's name still in these conversations? And the reason being, guys, because he's that good. I want you guys to think about what Deion said. We're here with opportunity. He didn't say we're here with the Browns. That's why I don't think Shedeur can prove Mel Kiper right as long as he's with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns could have shut this thing down right out of minicamp. Trade one of them. Trade the one who you believe is better. I don't care if it's Shedeur. I don't care if it's Dylan Gabriel. Choose before we even bring them in with the rookies. With the veterans. Get rid of one of them, whichever one you don't believe. If you don't believe Shedeur is that guy, get rid of him. If you don't believe Dylan Gabriel that guy, get rid of him. But ain't no need to keep this going. Right? Ain't no need to keep this going. But that's exactly why I'm standing with Mel Kiper Jr., guys. But we got to get Shedeur out of Cleveland. He doesn't have a shot there. Get him with a team that has a need for quarterback. Because just like when Deion came to Colorado, they had a need for quarterback. They had a need for quarterback, guys. Shedeur was that guy. We need a team that need a quarterback, not a team that don't know what to do with quarterback. And not a team that doesn't understand what it takes to allow a guy to have a brand and not intimidated by that brand and understand bright lights are good for everybody. Let's go back to the old saying: all publicity is good publicity. Can Shedeur Sanders prove Mel Kiper right? Absolutely. Can Shedeur Sanders prove Mel Kiper right in Cleveland? Hell no. Y'all get down in the comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Is Jeff crazy or is Jeff on to something? If you hadn't already, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that bell for notification. Until next time, I'm going to holler.